And then this is our dean, Katie Shepard. You may have seen her if you went to the ASVs. She's active around our campus. We like to include this just so you know that Katie is really committed to all students' success and ensuring that everyone feels really welcome and valued within the College of Education, and that all students kind of feel this sense of community within our college. So if you see Katie around, either on campus, in the hallways of Waterman, if you have classes there, don't hesitate to say hi, introduce yourself, let her know your name. She'll also be at our August orientation. It's always a great time to kind of chat with her. Will, you want to, or yeah.
Sure. I think one of the really special things about the College of Education Social Services at UVM is that we are one of the smaller colleges, which means that you get all of the resources of a large university, but you get a really tight-knit team of supports and faculty, and they're going to get to know you. They're going to know your name. You won't be anonymous. So these are like some of your people to turn to when you need some help. It's kind of divided into two separate teams under one kind of umbrella that is Dr. Tiffany Spencer. So you have CESS Student Services, which is myself and Kat. Are also our colleague Eric Braun, who advises elementary education and secondary education, as well as a new team member, Melissa Choa, who will also be advising a small group of y'all as well. We also have the CESS Advocacy and Action Team, which is Shane Abrams and Isaac Shoulderblade. And we're also connected with Higher Education and Student Affairs Master's Program. We usually have a student from that program helping us out and providing some additional support. And there's also our team sponsor. We couldn't do it without them, the Coffee Bean.
Yep. So these are all faces that if you see any of us around, you need help, you need support, we're here to help you and get you connected in to where you need to be. Um, and then just as like a really fun disclaimer that we all kind of have to throw out there, which is FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. This is a federal law that we as advisors and everyone on the previous screen that you just saw are held to. So as your advisor, we cannot discuss your academic record with anyone external from UVM without your permission. So if you have a parent, guardian, friend, someone you make life choices with that you would like to um, be in the know in an advising meeting, in maybe your first advising meeting that are coming up next week, some of them, um, we would need a FERPA form filled out and you letting us know what we can talk about. You might say, you can talk about my class schedule, but I don't want you to discuss my grades, something like that. So you get to dictate the amount of information we can or cannot share. But just so you are aware, we as advisors, we as staff and personnel at UVM, we cannot discuss your academic record with anyone outside of UVM except for you. Um, just to make sure that's very clear. I know sometimes our supports like to jump in our advising meetings. So just as a precursor, if you happen to have someone in mind that you want in those meetings, we're gonna need a little FERPA form. Um,
I
then
just put that in the chat, by the way. So if there are people that you want to bring into that first meeting, take a look at that and send that our way if you want to. But we also encourage you all to take some ownership and be really active in this whole degree earning process.
yeah. Um, all right. And now some more less legal and maybe more fun things. We have a number of different programs within the College of Education and Social Services that are designed to connect students with the campus, connect students directly with the college and how the college is making decisions, and to connect students with their peers. So we'll kind of trade off on these. The first one, I'm biased, it's my favorite. It's satellite advising. The advising got tucked around behind the logo when this transferred into a PowerPoint. So across the campus, you may have heard of different identity centers like the Mosaic Center, the First Gen Space. We have the Prism Center for anyone identifying with the LGBTQIA plus community, the Interfaith Center. We have a number of different spaces for students to kind of be in community with others who share similar identities and values. Satellite advising, we have advisors who will spend an hour at different centers every week. We have a number of advisors and just hang out there and help support students. So you might be, for instance, hanging out in the first gen space. You you don't understand what the ad drop policy might be. There might be a satellite advisor in there at that time who you can begin to ask questions to and get some advising support, even though they're not your specifically assigned academic advisor. That's kind of how that program is structured.
And then we have the Career Center, which is based in the Davis Center, but once a week we have the wonderful Clark Sheldon, who is a career coach who specializes in careers in education and just helping professions, nonprofits, social work, etc. He comes to the CESS Student Services space in the Waterman building, and he just has drop-ins, so you don't need to schedule an appointment. If you're nearby, you can stop by, talk to Clark. He will talk to you about just about anything. He will look at your resume. He'll give you advice on your cover letter. He'll talk to you about resources within the Career Center. There's this AI software that they use called JobScan, which gives you the ability to like really cater your resume and your cover letter to specific jobs to really elevate to make sure that you get seen, you get that first interview. They also have really great scholarship options for internships over the summer times. If you're applying to an internship that is either unpaid or underpaid, then you can get funding through the Career Center. They have a lot of really incredible programming throughout the year. So I really encourage you all to like get started and start thinking about what you value in your career and what you're looking for, because I remember kind of sitting where y'all were at, and is a little daunting. So doing that work now and talking to someone who is in the know is super helpful. Um, and then, so moving on to our next sort of program is the Student Advisory Board. The Student Advisory Board is a group of student leaders who meet pretty regularly throughout the year to elevate the student experience and the student voice. They meet with upper leadership, the deans of the college, etc., and really bring forward like things that they value and things they want to see done, so that like students are being heard. So if you're interested in learning more, feel free to, stick around. We can answer some more questions. The leader of the STAB board is named Kira, and she's also like, we can connect you with her and she will answer all your questions as well.
And then last but not least, we have a human development senior. So a senior in the human development and family sciences program does their internship in our department, and it looks a little different every year. We try and cater that to kind of what that student is looking to get out of the experience. But the one thing that always stays true is they are there and dedicated to connecting in with other students, whether they be seniors, juniors, sophomores, first year students. They are there to help support. We're really excited for the student that we have working with us this coming year, who I believe is also going to try and do some of the satellite advising work at the different spaces that we have, which is exciting, as well as helping other human development students understand and navigate their degree and career pathways kind of moving forward. I'm realizing the one thing that I forgot to mention, that this logo underneath the satellite advising office is the FOR program. Um, the FOR program is Fellowships, Opportunities, and Undergraduate Research. One of their advisors works alongside of us with satellite advising, and it's available to you from the get-go as first year students. They have opportunities for you to begin to do research, to do if you speak another language, there are different opportunities to speak to get into work in other languages. They also help students look beyond graduation and what does it look like to maybe get a Fulbright opportunity. So sometimes students don't start thinking about that until their senior year, but this is really something that this is a department that we can connect you in with, that you can start working with in your first year itself. Um, and then resources. We have a lot of fun resources, and I'll let Will take it away.
Yeah, so sure, sorry. So obviously, we care about your academic success, but also, you're a human being and we care about that too. So we want you to take care of yourself and make sure that what's available on campus to support you in that. So we have the Counseling and Psychiatry Services Center, called CAPS. They are a team of mental health counselors that you can get connected to and get support if you're struggling with homework, struggling with this new course load. They also like to hear when things are going really well. So if you just want to talk about how much fun you're having at UVM, they're great people to talk to. There's the Mental Health Urgent Care, which isn't directly affiliated with UVM, but is right on campus, and they're a nonprofit called the Howard Center that's nearby, and they are really designed if you don't know what to do, don't know where you're going, but you need to talk to someone. They can get you connected with your primary care provider. They can get you with a counselor who takes your insurance. There's also a peer mentoring space there that if you just want to talk to someone who's kind of been through it, they're also there, and it's a really great place. They got puzzles. They got a great view of the lake. I'm a big fan. There's also the Test and Go clinic through the Student Health Services Center, where if you are sick but you don't need a full appointment or anything, you just need to be tested for just about anything. You can be tested for flu, COVID, um, strep. I'm sure I'm missing a few things, but they are really short appointments, really easy to get into. Speaking of the student health services, just so you all know, if you are feeling sick, if you need to miss class, they're the people to talk to. There's also a short-term flexibility form online that we can share with you all, where if you need to miss class, you can submit this form. It'll alert our office and will alert the faculty, so you get that flexibility. Ultimately, it's up to the faculty member to provide any flexibility with attendance or assignments, but we just give them a little extra nudge when that happens. So that's really helpful. And then there's also Rally Cats Cupboard, which is in the Davis Center, that sort of central hub, where they provide some like food options that are accessible to folks if you need some help with groceries.
Yeah, and then on the academic side, I'm sure you've heard of a number of these resources, tutoring center, writing center. I really like both of these. The tutoring center, you can make appointments directly through Navigate. So in a very similar fashion that you make appointments with your advisors, you can do the same with the tutoring center. And they can help with executive functioning stuff. So if you're feeling like organized, like it's the first week of classes, you've gotten a bunch of new syllabi, a bunch of new information, and you're feeling overwhelmed on how to organize that, this tutoring center can help you kind of set you up for success. They can also help work with you in specific classes. The writing center can do anything from help edit a paper to help you figure out ways to strengthen your writing. If like, let's say you're a secondary English student and you want to really figure out ways to have really strong writing by the time you leave college, or if you're a social work student and you want to lean into what does it look like to write policy, the Writing Center can kind of help you build the skill sets that you're looking to build. One service that I absolutely love and adore is Student Accessibility Services. They're an incredible department, I have to say. They work with students who have had IEPs or 504 plans at previous institutions. However, if that does not apply to you, you can still work with them. So students who are maybe student athletes and maybe they got injured and they need support accessing classes because of an injury. I've had them help students organize like rides in the winter when they were on crutches. If students need a note taker, if students are struggling with ADHD, mental health, anything that might be coming up that is a barrier to your success, they do their absolute best to work with you to see what can be provided. Um, and then there's our study abroad office, or our Office of International Education. Sometimes people feel like, ooh, that feels like a big commitment, like a whole semester going overseas. They work with students on any number of different programs. So whether it's a short-term few weeks going to Costa Rica, or if it's a full semester going to New Zealand, um, or just finding anywhere in the world that you might be interested and wanting to connect into, our study abroad office helps you navigate what that process looks like, what it looks like to get connected in with a foreign institution, and how those credits would be transferring back to UVM.
All right, so some lots of opportunities to be active on campus. Um, there are these really wonderful physical education courses where you can actually get credit for taking yoga, doing strength training. Um, is pickleball? I think there's pickleball, but you can get credit for it. So that's a really nice way to stay active and stay involved with the campus, but also get one or two credits under your belt as well. There's about a club for everything you can imagine. I don't know the exact number, but the list online just keeps on going. The ski and snowboards club is one of the popular ones, but I think there's fiber arts. There's just about anything you can imagine. Um, and there's Living Well, back to the Davis Center, this wonderful hub of information and support, where there are, they have wellness coaching and classes. There's a harm reduction corner as well as a condom co-op. And these are just like all supports and resources that like are there to help.
And then in the future looking job kind of area of things and building skill sets, there are a lot of opportunities. We did go into Career Center a little bit with our connection with Clark. There's JobX for searching for jobs. There's the Student Employment Office. And then as you go through your time at UVM, you may see certain codes related to classes that say SL or CL. So this is a service learning or a civic learning course. If you are in social work, you will automatically be taking a service learning course. What these classes are designed to do is to, as part of your course, get you hands-on experience with whatever that topic is. So For example, in social work, there's a course called Working with Refugees, and students go and they spend time in the community with our refugee population, engaging with what does that look like? How are we working with people from drastically different backgrounds who have may experienced different levels of trauma? If you're in early childhood, one of the first classes you're going to be taking has you going directly to the YMCA, which will have a daycare center right there for you to begin to work with kiddos of various ages. Um,
Real quick, one
yeah, let me
shameless
go back.
plug, y'all. If you're just like so excited about CESS and everything that we're talking about, we are hiring a work study position in our office, so you can look for that on the JobX website, and we can share more about that later if you're interested.
And then we have some identity spaces. So we kind of discussed these a little bit. Will and I will just trade off. So I'll start with the Interfaith Center. This image here where there's like a lot of like there's this kind of, I don't know if a dome is the right word, and there's like a little walking maze. This is in the Interfaith Center. They support all backgrounds and beliefs. Um, we have satellite advising in this space. They do monthly dinners. They started doing monthly breakfasts. They're really all, it's a really wonderful, really chill space if you need a space to study. Super welcoming, super open. Even if you maybe you're taking a course intro to Islam and you have questions and there's new information, or you learn something about Hinduism or Buddhism, you can kind of go to the Interfaith Center and chat with the staff there. They're truly lovely.
Prism Center supports the LGBTQIA plus identifying students and the allies as well. It's again amazing space. They will connect students with gender affirming healthcare. There's a free donation corner for clothing for just like gender affirming clothing to have access to that. It's a really amazing staff as well.
Then we have our Mosaic Center. They support a lot of students with different racial, cultural backgrounds. They are open to all. They have a Friday breakfast every single Friday. It's a hot breakfast. Our department cooks one every year, as do many departments across the campus. Often we'll cook students a breakfast, and it's open to everybody to come on in to hang out. They have spaces for students. There's a kitchen associated with it. Their whole space basically feels like a living room. I was there doing satellite advising, and a student jumped on the piano because she felt like it, which was totally fine. It didn't bother anyone. So it's a really chill space. The staff there are incredible.
Then there's the Women and Gender Equity Center. We call it WAGE, a little shorter. They just fight and support for gender equity and inclusion. Um, yeah, they do a lot of cool programming throughout the year.
They have a lot of cool programming. They also have I believe they have a food pantry there as well. And like a backyard in case you're missing the home vibe of chilling in a backyard. Um, we have the First Nations Collective. So if you remember back to when we had Isaac Shoulderblade on the screen with everyone in our office, this is something that Isaac runs for our First Nation scholars. This is supporting our First Nation students across campus and bringing them together, kind of helping them build a sense of community. Um, we just graduated a First Nation student from who's Native Hawaiian, and for his graduates, Isaac was beading these really beautiful, intricate flowers for each of them that were related to their tribe or their background. It's really wonderful. And so if you want to get connected in with kind of First Nations identified students, staff, faculty, we can get you connected with Isaac for additional supports.
And then lastly, the First Gen Center, which is a space that provides resources and community for students who are the first in their family to go to college. So it's an overwhelming process, even with supports. So this is a space that like really gives you support around navigating what it's like to be at college.
And then this is your pre-advising meeting, but coming up next week, some of you may have already signed up for your actual first advising meeting. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you can expect and what you can look for that. So many of you have been checking your UVM emails. Thank you. And you have already made appointments via a link that was sent by your advisor through Navigate, requesting that you make an appointment with them. A number of you have already done that because our calendars got real full real quick. And then we'll just alternate these.
Yeah, and if you haven't signed up or haven't been getting that information, let us know and sign up, please. And then so to prepare for that meeting, and in that meeting, you and your advisor will go over your schedule. So you're actually enrolled in a few classes already, just to make sure that you're on track with your program, with your major. They'll go over probably some of the resources that we talked about today because we really want you to know what's available. So to get ready for this meeting, you're going to need to download the Microsoft Teams app. And then some folks are looking for a link to the meeting, but your advisor is probably just going to give you a call at the time of your meeting. So just be ready for that to come through.
Yeah, definitely have Teams downloaded. You can do that tonight. You can do that, get it prepped, ready to go. Like Will said, I am one of those advisors. I will see the meeting on my calendar. I'm probably not going to send a link unless we have a lot of tech issues. I'll just give you a call directly through Teams. In terms of your meeting, you're gonna go through what are the expectations of your program? Every program is a little different. They all have various nuances. Some of our programs, because we're in a professional college, have a set sequencing for when you take classes. Almost every single one of our programs has a set sequence for when you take which semester, which year you take a course. And that's what we help you with. So we go over the expectations of your courses. We review when you're taking classes. We can help you map things out. We can help connect you in with different academic tools, like we mentioned student accessibility services, and you'll probably hear us say it again at nauseum. In this meeting, you might ask your advisor, like, hey, I remember someone talking about something to help me because I need a note taker. And then we can help you get that process started in those advising meetings. You can also get it started today when you download Teams, you can get it started. Um, yeah, well,
Yeah, great. So I got a little ahead of myself. But yeah, so during this meeting with your advisor, you will go over those courses that you're currently enrolled in. And sometimes it's just 9 or 12 credits, really just to make sure you're in those essential courses. And if you've seen that already, great job. Um, but just know that this is just what you're in right now. This is just a draft. And in this meeting with your advisor, you're going to look at it together. You're going to say this looks great, or like let's make some changes. And we really want your first semester for you to be in courses that you're excited about. So we're going to work with you to make sure that that's the case. Um, Between now and then, so until early July, you're going to have a hold on your account. So you won't be able to make the changes without talking to your advisor. So before that meeting, we'll lift that hold and we'll be able to make changes for 24 hours. We're going to try and walk you through the steps on how to add and drop courses so that you can do that on your own because that's what it's all about, right? And so after that meeting, between then and that week in July, you'll just need to talk to your advisor so they can change the hold and like you make changes again. After July, it's all yours and you'll know everything to look for. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to just really reiterate one thing that Will said, which was what's on your schedule right now is just a draft. That's really what your advisors are here for. We can help draft different possibilities. But you, like, again, you are in charge of your degree, you're in charge of your education. This is kind of, we can help you explore paths, but the ultimate choices, decisions, they come down to you. One thing that will be really important about communicating with your advisor when that OR hold is on, some of you may have taken AP credits or IB credits, or you might be transferring credits in from a dual enrollment, something like this. Um, so AP classes, AP scores usually will come out like next month. So you may have taken an English AP, and you might be enrolled in an English class right now. You might not need that English class, but when you meet with your advisor, that score might not be out yet. So what you're really going to want to do is over the summer be really conscientious about checking, have your AP scores come in, have they transferred to UVM, or any other type of score, and should you adjust your schedule based on what might already be covered by a credit that you've transferred in. Another thing that if you're in an education program that you might be asked about, and like you may not have submitted AP, SAT or ACT scores. That's totally fine. That's totally fair. Don't sweat it. Your advisor, I often ask, is if you have those scores because certain benchmarks, and then we can progress you through like a praxis check. But just in terms of things you may already have that will transfer into UVM, you may have some of these pieces, and you're just going to want to be watching out for when they come through.
Yeah, those usually come in around mid to late July. And then so also during this meeting with your advisor, right now today we're really doing broad strokes, talking about a lot. And so with your advisor, they'll probably just get a little bit more detail oriented on some of the resources on campus. They'll be able to give you the link to the Student Accessibility Services office where you can actually get started and get connected with someone over there. They can give you the link to Go Abroad, which is the study abroad database, so you can start exploring options. It's just going to be a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more detail, a little bit more specific than what we're doing right now. Um, yeah. All right. I think we have maybe one or two more slides. How's everyone doing?
Yeah. Or actually, we have the next slide is
I
for
guess
you
this is where you tell
to
us.
let us know some things. You can scan this QR. If for whatever reason it's not working, it should be working, fingers crossed. You can pop a response to the questions are bulleted out below the QR, um, and let us know some things that are going on through your mind. We'll leave this screen up a little bit. Our last slide is really just our hours and our contact information, um, and letting you know we're going to hang out for a few minutes after everyone goes. I'm going to make an assumption that at this point, most people have scanned the QR. Has it been up long enough, do we think? I don't want to steal any more of your evening than we already have. So I'm going to, boom, say thank you for joining. And if you have questions, you may throw them in the chat. Let us know your questions. You can turn on your camera, turn on your mic. I'm going to stop sharing.
And
Um,
I'm going to stop the recording.
all right.